Hello, dear students. As usual, I am Reena, Assistant Professor English, Government Girls College, Para. Dear student, we have studied in our previous e-lecture the text of poem My Last Duchess, and this is the second video, second e-lecture regarding this poem My Last Duchess, and our upcoming third video is also regarding with the poem My Last Duchess, and in second or third video of this poem contains the question and answer regarding this poem. As we have studied before the text of the poem My Last Duchess, as we know, My Last Duchess is a dramatic monologue written by a Robert Browning. Robert Browning is the master in writing dramatic monologue. As we have studied before that about the dramatic monologue also, means what is the dramatic monologue. As we know, dear student, in the dramatic monologue there is a single speaker and listener also. Listener may be single or may be other than single, more than 2 3 and many others. Okay, and the speaker is not only a poet himself. Okay, the speaker may be the any person, like we have seen in our poem My Last Duchess. In this monologue the speaker is a duke. What is the name of duke, dear student? The name of duke is Alfonso II d'Este, the Duke of Ferrara, and Ferrara is a village nearby Italy. Okay, and who is the listener? And the listener is a envoy of the neighboring count. For what purpose the envoy came to the duke? The envoy came to the duke with the proposal of his count's daughter's marriage, and this was the second marriage of duke. So he told about the story of his first duchess. The name of his first duchess is Lucrezia. Okay, and he shows the picture of his first duchess hanging on the wall, and portrayed the whole character of his first duchess, and also tells about the reason of the death of his first duchess. So this is the dramatic monologue. This is the total subject matter of this dramatic monologue My Last Duchess. Dear student, just have a look on our screen. Okay, and the first point is about the monologue. This monologue My Last Duchess is taken from the dramatic lyrics in 1845. Means it is published in his collection of monologues, namely the dramatic monologue, which came in 1845. The name of the duke is Alfonso II d'Este of Ferrara. Ferrara is village near Florence, Italy. Okay, the name of duchess is Lucrezia. Next point is poem. Is this poem means this poem My Last Duchess is of 56 lines written within run on heroic couplets. Couplets means a stanza of 2 lines, and these lines also having iambic pentameter and having a fixed rhyme scheme. Okay, here we can see the another word as clause. Clause is a imaginary name of a sculptor who casted the statue of Neptune taming a seahorse in bronze. Means Innsbruck is the imaginary name of a place in Australia, and clause is from Innsbruck. The statue of Neptune taming a seahorse is made of bronze. Okay, these are the main points we have to know regarding this poem My Last Duchess. Okay, dear student, now we can see many questions in our examinations also, and our this video and these notes uh, consist the two or three questions regarding this poem, My Last Duchess. And the first question, as you have on your screen, is critically examine the character of the Duke in the poem My Last Duchess. Means you can be asked as the character sketch of Duke, and you can asked also the character sketch of Duchess. Okay, so be prepare for to write the character sketch of Duke and Duchess both. Okay, so make the notes your own as the character sketch of Duchess. On behalf of, as you have the answer of this question as the character sketch of Duke, you also make your notes as a character sketch of Duchess. Okay, now see the answer of this question. The first point is introduction. When you are to write the long questions in 250 words or the other more than 215 words, 50 words, then you should start with the point introduction. Okay, so let's have a look at your screen. The first point, introduction. Browning's My Last Duchess is well-known dramatic monologue of 56 lines. Here you can also mention the definition of dramatic monologue also within short 2 or 3 line. Okay, it was published in November 1842 in his collection of poems, namely Dramatic Lyrics. Robert Browning is known for his dramatic monologues especially. In this monologue, the speaker is the Duke Fifth Alfonso II d'Este of Ferrara, a village near Florence in Italy. Means Ferrara is a village near Florence in Italy. The silent listener is an envoy of the neighboring count with whom the Duke talks about his matrimonial alliance of the daughter, means of the count. Means here envoy came to the Duke with the proposal of his count's daughter's marriage with the Duke. Since the silent listener does not talk and remains silent, means as we know in a dramatic monologue, listener is a silent. Okay, listener is silent, so the envoy remains silent and the Duke guesses the questions of the silent listener and answers them accordingly. The second point is Renaissance background. Means the poem My Last Duchess has the Renaissance background. Means what is the Renaissance background? Means the chief characteristics of the Renaissance. We can see the main trends of the Renaissance in this poem My Last Duchess. The intention of the Robert Browning is to reveal the characteristics of the late 16th century, means during the period of Renaissance. As we have studied previously when we have read the Renaissance period. Okay, then what is the Renaissance? Renaissance means the revival of the art and literature during the 14th, 15th and 16th century in England also. Okay, and Renaissance came from Italy. So in this poem My Last Duchess, we have Renaissance background as depicted by the Robert Browning through the character of the Duke. The Duke in this poem is shown as a typical Renaissance character who represents the whole specific characteristics of these people. Characteristics of these people can be summed up as thus: their possessiveness of a lordism, means following are the chief, means specific, a typical characteristics of the Renaissance people as depicted by the Duke. As first is possessiveness, means here We have seen in this poem My Last Duchess, Duke want to have total possession on his duchess. Okay, so this show his possessiveness. Second is overlordism. When he says my 900 years old name, this shows his overlordism. And false dignity means the character of the duke also show the false dignity. And second is, next is vanity and the pride of noble birth and family. The dictatorial attitude, the pride of noble birth and family. When we have read the line 900 years old name, okay, and dictatorial attitude means cruelty and envy, jealous, all these kind of characteristics we can see when the poet when the duke says that I gave command and all smiles stopped together. These five tragic words shows the dictatorial attitude, cruelty, envy and jealousy of the duke, and cunningness, greed and their love for the work of art, namely the portrait, painting and sculpture. All these characteristics represents the Renaissance people. In this monologue, the duke is one of such abnormally powerful Renaissance person, showing in him these traits, all these traits, as we have studies as the possessiveness, overlordism, false dignity and vanity, pride of noble birth and family, dictatorial attitude, cruelty, envy and jealous, cunningness, greed, and the good characteristic is the love for the work of art, namely the portrait, painting and sculpture. All these are the traits, all these are the fashion traits and characteristics of the Renaissance that reveal through the character of the duke in this poem My Last Duchess by Robert Browning, while revealing the character of the envoy. Okay, and now the following are the chief characteristics of the duke. The first chief characteristic is the duke is dictatorial, vain and proud. Okay, the duke is notoriously dictatorial. Dictatorial means overlordism type. Okay, vain and proud. His sense of pride of his high-born aristocratic family of 100 years old name, even 900 years old name, and his high status do not allow him to stoop, means to lower down at any account, either to correct or tutor his wife for her democratic smiling habit. Means the pride, the vanity of his high birth, of his high status, do not allow the duke to stoop, to lower down in front of his duchess. He wants to have total monopoly, total possessiveness and lordism, not only on his wife's activity, but also on her alluring smile also, which she casts toward everyone irrespectively to any position. The duke tells the envoy as in text of as in the line of the text, as if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with the anybody's gift. Means in these lines duke want to say that my duchess counted similarly my 900 years old name and my gift to the anybody's gift, to the anybody's name. And next he say, but who passed without much their same smile. Means she smiles at everyone similarly, she smiles similarly at everyone, either he is his husband or the other person, or the even they may be my servants also. She smiles at similarly to the towards the everybody. Okay. And the second characteristic is jealous and envious. The duke is highly jealous and envious of the others and wants her beautiful smiles reserved only for him. Means here he wants that his wife should smiles only towards him, not to the others. Okay, so he has total monopoly over his duchess. Even he does not allow anyone to unveil the curtain on the portrait of the duchess after her death, as thus he says to the envoy, but to myself thy turn, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I. Means only I can put off the curtain from the portrait of my duchess. No one has the right to put off the curtain from the portrait of my duchess. This shows his jealous and envious nature, his total monopoly over the duchess even after her death. Okay. And the third characteristics of the duke's character is duke is undemocratic in nature. Undemocratic in nature means he has much proud of his ancestry. The real contrast between the duke and his duchess in his connection with his undemocratic approach in behaving with her. He is greatly conscious of his high status and noble birth in comparison to the democratic temperament of the duchess. Both are contrast to treating the others. Okay. She is shown here thoroughly shown here of amiable. Means duchess is shown here as a amiable, meek. She smiles accordingly to the everybody, and she gets obliged even by the smallest courtesy shown by the worthless and low servants also, who brings a bunch of cherry for her. The duke utters as thus in the text of our poem, as all and each would draw from her alike, and approving such or blush at least. Means she smiled when she smiled towards the everybody's gift. She smiled toward the everybody. And again we find that the duke lays stress on the same point and wants to convey that he was not treated in a special manner through her smiles. Means here he want to prove that his duchess has no courtesy, no manner. She can't able to differentiate between her husband and the servants and the others also. Means totally here he want to prove that his duchess not fit for his name of his great birth, his great status. But who passed without and again we find that the duke lays stress on the same point. He wants to convey that he was not treated as a special manner through her smile, and he says as follows, but who passed without much the same smile. Means she gave same smile to the everybody, either he is his husband or the other, or even towards the servants also. Okay. The fourth characteristic of the duke is tyrannical and cruel. The duke is very cruel and is not less than a tyrant and despot. In fact, he is an autocrat and knows no mercy. When he found that his wife could not tutor herself at her own level in the matter of casting her smiles, he grew so violently angry, and he ordered his men to put her to the death, even to the death. This show the most tyrannical and cruel behavior of the Duke. Browning reveals this portrait of the Duke's cruelty and tyrant as thus: This grew and I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. This line is the very tragic line of this whole dramatic monologue. Means these 5 words, then all smiles stopped together, are the much tragic words in this dramatic monologue. The 5th chief characteristic of Duke is cunning and greedy. The Duke is very cunning, shrewd, and highly greedy. To satisfy his desire to greed for Dory, he is very cunningly and cleverly puts forth an idea of the heavy Dory, indirectly by praising the benevolence and large heartedness of the Count. He thus accepts a good Dory, although he adds that his sole aim is to marry the beautiful daughter of the Count. The Duke's greed and cunningness is portrayed here in a beautiful manner by the Robert Browning, when he reveals his character through the Duke's speech as thus: I repeat, the Count, your master's non-magnificence is ample warrant that not just pretense of mine of Dory will be disallowed, though his fair daughter's self, as I avowed, it started is my object. Means here Browning cleverly portrayed the greed of a Duke in these lines, as he says to the envoy that I am not interested in Dory. Okay, Dory not allowed in my case, but I know about the benevolence and heart-heartedness of your Count. He must be do everything in the favor of his daughter. So here he indirectly demands the Dory. And the 6th characteristic of Duke's character is lover of the painting and sculpture. This is the good quality of the Renaissance people, the loving of painting and sculpture, as we have seen at the end of the poem. This is the good quality of the Duke. The period of the Renaissance is famous for the love of people for work and art, namely the painting, sculpture, architecture and literature, and Browning brings out the art lover in Duke. The Duke is shown here in the beginning of the poem as a great lover of the art and paintings. He got a full life signed wonderful portrait of his Duchess prepared by an eminent friar painter named Fra Pandolf. He got it hung on the wall of the art gallery. Painting to us the bewitching lifelike portrait, Duke tells the envoy as follows: There's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she was alive. Means this shows the great love of art for the painting of Duke. In the concluding lines of the poem, the Duke is exhibited as a great lover of the art of sculpture also. As he says, means as he pointed towards the sculpture, the statue of the Neptune taming a seahorse made of bronze, and it is made by the claws of Innsbruck. As he says in the last line, the taming, down together sir, notice the Neptune, though taming a seahorse, thought a rarity, which claws of Innsbruck cast in bronze for me. And this is our first question. First question is the chief characteristic of the Duke in the poem My Last Duchess. I hope, dear student, all you are enjoying your study, your e-lecture video also. So please be with me in the next video also, and next video contains the next question regarding this poem, My Last Duchess. So, carry on dear students. Have a good day and enjoy your